Hey guys, it's Dawn from Creative Appliques. Happy Crafternoon. Thanks for joining me again. On Friday we listed our In the Hoop face mask with pleats and a back pocket, and we have had an overwhelming positive response to it, and I am so grateful to every one of you that is enjoying the mask. We've also had some wonderful feedback about it, and so today in this video I would like to go over the revised steps, the revised mask, okay? So this mask, it's available at creativeappliques.com, and I want to talk a little bit about the different features of it, and then we'll get into the supplies and the stitching of it, because it is a little different than the other one. This will be available on the website. If you have already purchased the file or already have downloaded the file, when the new file is there, all you have to do is go to your account, sign into your account, go to your downloads and download the file. You do not have to repurchase, so please don't go and try to repurchase the design. Simply go to your account, go to downloads and download the file again, okay? I want to mention a huge shout out to my friend over at AKA Appliques, Marissa Reniger. She helped me with some of these revisions, and I think it's absolutely perfect now. So some of the comments we had about the first one was that the pocket was a little too small, so we've made the pocket larger. We've made it wider so it's easier to get into for people who are changing out the filters in there. So that's one revision we've made. And the other thing we made is we were able to, on the inside, there is now a buttonhole where you can slit that and slide in the metal piece. So there's no longer a raw edge stitch out here, or sorry, a raw edge of the fabric that's just going to be, you know, open. It is now, you will insert the wire from in the back with the little snip through the buttonhole there, okay? So you'll snip just one side of the fabric so that on the back it's completely closed and there is no part to poke out. All right, so those are the revisions. So let's go through what we need. So let's talk about the supplies we're going to need. You're going to need 5 pieces of fabric cut in specific sizes for the mask you are making. This file comes with a step-by-step PDF instruction guide on how to do this mask. You will get all the sizes included with what size you need to cut the fabric for the small, medium, large, and extra large. There are 8 files included with this design. The ones that fit in the 5x7 hoop are the small, medium, and large. The ones that fit in the 6x10 hoop are the extra large, the 2 small, and the 2 medium. And the ones that fit in the 7x12 hoop are the 2 large and the 2 extra large. So the file does come with a single mask in each hooping, and it also comes with 2 masks in a hooping. So all of that information is included in the PDF, which is in the main folder. The main folder has a file that's called CA Instructions Face Mask. It's a PDF file, and that's where you will find it. It is not in the folder with the all of the machine files. So that's where you'll find that. Okay, fabric. We need to hoop tearaway stabilizer. Some people ask if you can use cutaway. You can use cutaway, but that means it's going to stay in the mask permanently unless you cut it out. So you can use tearaway stabilizer. This is medium tearaway stabilizer. You can also use a Solvay. Super Solvay is the best. If you only have the thin kind of Solvay, I would suggest double or triple it up. You'll need a rotary cutter to cut your fabric, a good pair of scissors at the end to trim around the design. You'll need a ruler. You will need this handy little pick tool. It's not necessary, but it does help get rid of this, remove the stabilizer really easily. You're going to need some kind of tape. Spray adhesive is not going to work on this because of the pleats. So masking tape or painter's tape or scotch tape works as well. Now, let's talk about options for elastic, because I know it's really difficult to find elastic right now, so let's talk about it. Some of the things that we can use, if we don't have elastic, okay, which is very hard to come by now, you can use ribbon. Okay, if you can find ribbon, I think ribbon is easily accessible, so you can use ribbon. You can also use hair ties. If you're going to use hair ties like this, though, you will need to insert them in the side slots before you stitch down the side slots, because obviously these are a solid piece, okay? What else can you use for hair ties or tie it around? So this is a piece of knit t-shirt fabric, okay? I cut it in 1 inch width, and when you pull it, it will curl up like this. So you can use t-shirt knit. That's a great option. Another option that you can use as well is these are tights, okay? So I simply took a piece of tights, cut it across the leg, and tights. Again, this will need to be put in the slot before sewing the side slots on, okay? Okay, now let's prep our fabrics. So we'll get them all ready so that when we put the design, when we hoop the stabilizer on the machine, we'll get stitching and won't have to take the time out to prep the fabric. So this is piece A, all right? I am sewing the large mask, but you will have different measurements for different sizes of the design. So you're going to take the piece and you're going to fold it in half. And I just like to finger press it right now, okay? Just finger press it so I kind of get the idea of where the center is. And then I'm going to make 3 pleats in it. This is totally your preference on how you want to make the pleats, how thick you want to make them, but the finished size is what's important. And again, those specs are in the PDF. So I'm doing the large, so I want the finished size to be at least 7 inches. So I have 3 inches here that I could take up with pleats. So now I hand pressed there, and I'm just simply going to fold it down onto that. And we also need an iron, okay? Forgot to mention that. So for the extra large, you might find you want to do 4 pleats in it. It's totally up to your, preference of what you want. And I'm just eyeballing this for the pleats. You can make them wider, you can make them further spread apart. That's totally your preference, okay? So there we go. This is piece A, all finished. Gonna set that aside. Now, piece B goes, flip it over, and we are going to fold, so this is the width of the mask. We're going to fold it in half, wrong sides together, and press it. Okay? Wrong sides together, right side out, press it with a fold. Done. Piece C. Okay? We're going to take piece C, and this is the width. All right, this is the width of the mask we're dealing with here. We're going to turn it over, and we're going to press a narrow edge over. Okay, wrong sides together, little press there. All right, flip it back over. So now we have the right side up. Now we're going to pleat this. And so because this is the lower part of the back, the part that's going to be towards the face, I want to put the pleats up higher than I did on the front piece, because the piece A is going to be the front of the mask that people are going to see. Piece C is going to be a piece that is closest to the face. So it's going to be lower. So I want to do the pleats higher up, and this will make sense once we get it on the machine, okay? So and one last pleat. Now you can totally do this without pleats. If you don't want pleats, you could do it totally without pleats. You could do 2 pleats, you could do 4 pleats, you can do what you wish. All right, so there's piece C. Now, piece D. We are going to do 2 of them, okay? So, these are the side pieces. So we turn it over, so we have the wrong side up. We're going to fold it down and fold it down again. So fold it twice and then press. Repeat on the bottom. Fold it up, press. So I am doing the large, and I need the piece to be at most 3 inches. Okay, so when you fold it, you want to keep that in mind. And then we're going to take it and fold it in half height-wise and press it. So this is wrong sides together, right side out. Okay, and we repeat that for the other piece. We'll speed through that. Okay, now we're ready to stitch. The first thing that we're going to stitch is the placement line. So now we're going to take piece B. This is the piece that has the fold, okay? This is the fold is right here. So we're going to take this and we're going to meet it here. We're going to have the fold resting on this lower line, okay? Right like this, on this lower line. And we are going to open it up. Okay, so I'm going to actually just tape it here. And now I'm going to open it up. Maybe. Okay, so don't move it, keep it there, but I'm going to just open it up, all right? And then I'm going to tape this down. The next thing that's going to stitch is a buttonhole. That is where we are going to have this spot to be able to insert the wire for the nose. So next thing we're going to do is stitch the buttonhole. Now that piece B has sewn the buttonhole right there, we're going to fold the piece back up, all right, making sure we're still on these lines here. Now, I want you to pull up piece B, all right, fold it back, and we are going to take piece C. We're going to take the folded piece here, the folded part that we had on piece C that we ironed, and we're going to place that underneath piece B, and we're going to meet it up here with the top line. Okay, so you see that? So this line here, the top line here, is where piece C is going to meet up, closest to the stabilizer. Piece B is meeting up with the lower line. This is going to create a pocket, an overlap, okay? So we now take piece C and we're going to tape that down underneath. And I suggest you use lots of tape, because when the machine starts moving and things start rocking and rolling, it's shaking around. Okay, so you see that right here. We've got that stitching. So the blue is meeting up with the top line and the red is meeting up with the bottom line. I'll finish taping this and be right back. Okay, now that it's all taped and ready to go, the piece B is on top of piece C, and now we will stitch the tack down. So now that we finished stitching that, you can gently pull away the tape. Now just be careful that you tear it away gently so that you don't pull out any of the stitching, okay? Or you can leave it until later. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put down the side pieces, okay? So these are the two D pieces that we had that we folded 2 times down, 2 times up, and then folded it in half. Now, these pieces need to fit in front of, even or below the corner here, the corner pieces, okay? So we take the folded part, this is the folded part, and we are going to place it down and we're going to cover this stitching here, okay? It doesn't need to be even with the raw edges. It doesn't need to be even with the raw edges here, okay? It just needs to cover this stitching. All right, so if you want to make less of a, a side pocket that's not so wide, you could move it further out. You can, this is where you could kind of play with the width of the mask and how wide you want it. So I'm going to tape these in place. This is the fold. The fold is in towards the center. The raw edge is out here. All right, raw edges to raw edges. Friends hanging out together. I'll tape them in place and be right back. Okay, so now we have piece A with our pleats, all right? This is the top here. This is the top. The pleats are facing down, okay? And we are going to take the piece and we're going to turn it over. So since this is the top of the mask here with the curve and the spot for the nose wire, we're going to take it and flip it over so that these pleats are down, okay? So we're going to do like that, all right? And all we're going to do now is tape this in place over all the other stitching. Now we're going to finish stitching the final outline. Okay, now that we've finished it, we're just going to remove all the tape and tear it out of the hoop because I used a tearaway stabilizer, so we're going to simply remove it from the hoop. I'm going to use the handy dandy little pick tool to remove the stabilizer. Now on the sides here, there was those two placement stitches for the bottom part of the mask, the bottom part of the pocket, and so you can just simply snip those. You really don't even have to because they will be on the inside of the mask, but if you just like to have it cleaned up, that's fine too. Okay, so now we will trim away all of the fabric. And you'll also want to cut little parts off of the corners there. Okay, so now the buttonhole we created over here, right? We created that buttonhole. That is this is the pocket for the nose wire, and it's going to be on the inside. So you can either clip this when it's on the machine right after you sewed it, or you can clip it now, but you need to be very careful that when you're doing it, you're only cutting through the one side of the fabric, okay? And you're not going all the way through to the other side. So just take a little snip right in there, okay? Now you want to insert your nose wire, whatever you're using. I like to use the pipe cleaner. but you can use fluoro wire. So I take a 12-inch pipe cleaner and I fold it in half, and then I just simply turn down the corners so there's no rough part there that is poking out. Okay, and then just going to slide it right through. Right there. Okay, and now we're going to turn it right sides out. So we just open the little pocket there and we flip it out, and the wire is, you know, soft, flexible, forgiving, and so it allows for it to be turned easily. All right, and now you're going to want to press it so it's nice and flat and looks crisp. And so there's the pocket that you have to be able to stick a filter in or whatever you may be using, and it's overlapped a little bit so that when it's opened up, you know, it sits on the face. This will be sitting against the face and it will have enough of an overlap. Okay, so now let's talk about putting the wire in, the elastic or ties. Okay, now let's talk about the options for inserting the elastic or the ties. I like to use these. These are called hemostat forceps, and anybody in the medical field knows what they are. It's easier and faster than trying to get a safety pin through elastic that's thin like this. So you just clamp it in there and stick it through that fast. And then you can tie it in a knot. This is one long piece that goes around the back of the head, but you could do the same thing for the shorter pieces. It also works amazing too for, this is the t-shirt knit that I was talking about, remember? So I've got it clamped really easily, quickly, and feeding it through just like that. Okay, and these are shorter pieces that you can use to tie around the ears. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you found this video and information helpful. If you enjoyed my content, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when I upload new content. Also, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed this content and found it valuable, and I will upload more. Again, thanks for joining me, and make your life creative.